Roots run deep, petals flow. Fareham Florist Pod. Hear the stories as they grow. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fareham Florist Pod, the podcast where I regale you with snippets of my life as a florist, a small business owner, and on some days an unwilling participant in what feels like a social and scientific experiment. I'm your host, Sarah, owner of Fareham Florist. We're also known as Flowers by Moonstones. We're a small, independent, family-run business sitting quietly on the outskirts of a small town on the south coast of the UK called, Fareham. Very on brand, very creative naming from us. If you've never listened before, this episode is episode 10. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This podcast is essentially me talking to myself and you about flowers, customers, vans, traffic, the strange emotional journey that comes with running a florist shop. Think of it as therapy, but with more foliage. Today's story is one that I think perfectly captures the joy, the stress, and the occasional existential confusion of working in floristry. I'm talking tight deadlines, multiple deliveries, and of course, customers whose requests gently stroll past reasonable and sprint directly into, "This feels a bit like a prank." This is the story of the morning I became, against my will, part of a telepathy experiment. Or at least, that's how it felt. I'm not sure if you're aware, this podcasting malarkey, it doesn't come for free. It actually costs real money, and a lot more than I ever thought it would do. That's why I'm reaching out to you, dear listener. If you would like to support me along the way, you'd be very, very welcome to buy me a virtual coffee. This can be done by visiting www.buymeacoffee.com/Fareham Florist Pod. Every single penny will help to cover equipment and the hosting costs, which are extortionate. You'd be helping me keep this little dream afloat without actually bankrupting myself. Anyway, enough of all that. Let's get on with today's episode. It was one of those mornings. You know the ones. The kind where everyone needs their flowers delivered at a very precise time. Those times were all inconveniently close together. The sort of morning where you look at the delivery list and immediately feel your eye twitch just a little. Now, as florists, we try our absolute best to accommodate delivery times. Honestly, we really do. Sometimes, though, the universe will interfere. It will look at our carefully planned schedule and say, "Cute, let's see how you're going to handle traffic." On this particular day, we had 3 key deliveries. Firstly, there was a funeral delivery, scheduled for 9:30, 8 miles to the east of us. Our second one was a wedding, also for 9:30, but that was 4 miles to the south of us. Already, you can hear the dramatic music starting to rise in your mind, can't you? If you can't, I know I can. And then third, a customer delivery requested for 10:15, 7 miles to the west. For those of you thinking, "Ooh, that sounds tight," yes, it was. Our driver, who deserves some sort of medal, or at least a very strong cup of tea, had his work cut out for him. And to make things extra fun, the funeral director didn't open until 9 o'clock, so there was no option for him to start early, or at least arrive there earlier. No sneaking in quietly, no head start. We were on the clock the moment the doors opened. By 8:45, the van was fully loaded. Flowers were carefully secured. Sat-nav was programmed. Everyone was standing around doing that thing where you pretend not to panic by saying things like, "It'll be fine, it should be okay, traffic won't be that bad." Of course, these are lies. We all crossed our fingers for no accidents, no roadworks, no slow drivers, and most importantly, no rogue tractors. Because if you live anywhere even vaguely rural, you will know tractors appear when you're late. It's like a rule, as if they're actually waiting for that moment. As luck would have it, though, the morning deliveries went reasonably smoothly. The funeral flowers were delivered on time. The wedding flowers were delivered on time. He encountered some slow-moving school traffic because apparently every child in the county needed dropping off at exactly that moment. But still, things were holding together. At this point, I was feeling cautiously optimistic. In hindsight, that was my first mistake. Honestly, floristry delivery planning sometimes feels less like running a shop and more like air traffic control. I'm tracking vehicles, calculating minutes, watching the clock, and silently whispering, please don't let anything unexpected happen. Because the moment that you think you're in control, the phone will ring. By 10 a.m, our driver was just around the corner from his final delivery. He'd been slowed by a rogue JCB, that was unexpected, for most of the route after leaving the wedding, because of course he had, but we were still on track. Then it happened. That phone rang. I looked at the screen and saw it was the customer for the 10:15 delivery. Initially, I thought to myself, all good, it's okay, she's just checking that the flowers are on their way. I was wrong, as I often am in these cases. She said, very calmly at first, I called you the other day to arrange delivery of some flowers for my sister. I've just realised I forgot to put a name on the card. Okay, not ideal, not the end of the world. She then continued, can you rewrite it and include the extra name? I explained, politely and gently. Unfortunately, it was too late for me to do it in the shop. The driver was already en route. He was practically there. The flowers were in the van and the card was attached. The situation was, how shall I put this? In motion. She didn't ask, though. She then insisted. She began to describe her vision. This is when things began to escalate. She determined that I must rewrite the card completely, not add any words to it. It must be written in exactly the same pen colour. How she knew what colour I'd used is beyond me. And the handwriting must be identical. She mentioned this because I had suggested that maybe I could call our driver and get him to add the extra name to the card. I paused internally because at this point, my brain was doing that thing where it tries to calculate how to explain basic reality to another adult. I explained again the driver would not be able to get back to the shop, collect a new card, and still make the delivery at 10:15. I was happy to rewrite the card and have him come back, but he would be delivering later. This is when her tone changed again. She became frustrated with me, exclaimed disbelief, and gave a growing sense that I was personally letting her down by not possessing supernatural abilities. She genuinely seemed confused as to why this wasn't possible. I remember thinking, is there a secret florist teleportation network that I've missed? You never know in this day and age. If there is, why was no one giving me the login details? I would really like them. I had this image in my head then of some underground government facility where brilliant minds are working on teleportation technology that apparently everyone else got access to except for me. Because according to this customer, the solution was obvious. I just wasn't trying hard enough for her. This is the moment when you realise that some customers, they don't want solutions. They want the impossible. Now, while I can often perform a miracle, I do struggle with the impossible. Again, I offered the option of getting the driver to add the name with the pen that he had on him, which was most likely the same pen that I have in the shop because I buy them in batch. Or we could delay the delivery slightly so that I could rewrite the card and she could have it all done correctly. Neither option was acceptable to her. She wanted a rewritten card, perfect handwriting, perfect pen match, delivered exactly at 10:15. Despite my driver being mere minutes away from the delivery address at that moment, and who would have no time to get back to the shop and back out again for the requested delivery, we were now operating in entirely different universes. Every sentence in our conversation felt like a battle between physics, time, and human expectation. She told me she found my level of incompetency astounding because I wasn't able to perform the tasks she required. This fascinated me, really, considering this task involved reversing time. By the end of the call, she informed me there would be a 1-star review waiting for me. She definitely would not recommend us to anyone, and that our entire business reputation was apparently hanging by one missing name on a card, which wouldn't have been missing if she'd just let my driver add it. All I could do afterwards was sit there and think, well, that escalated. Floristry doesn't just teach us about flowers. It teaches us about patience, about restraint, about how not to scream, "I am not a wizard," down the phone. Although, believe me, I've come close a few times. After the call, I did sit back for a moment to let it all sink in. Yes, it was extremely frustrating, but also kind of funny in a way. At the end of the day, no one was hurt. The flowers were delivered on time with the extra name written by my driver, and the world did not end. She also never left that 1-star review she was telling me she was going to. But this is one of those moments, it reminds me of how some people operate in their own timelines, completely oblivious of what's going on in the world around them. I can explain to them, I can reason with them, I will always offer an alternative. And yet most times none of that matters. And that's okay, because it's also a reminder of just how much logistics go into floristry, something most people will never see. Every delivery is planning, coordination, timing, traffic management, and occasional tractor and JCB avoidance. It really is like a kind of ballet in a way, a muddy, time-sensitive ballet with fans. Sometimes you just have to let the absurdity wash over you, laugh quietly, carry on doing your job the best you can. Because tomorrow will always bring new flowers. It will probably also bring new chaos. So this is a short episode this time, but it was the story of the morning of the impossible card. A tale about physics, patience, and the occasional customer who expects time travel to come free with their bouquet. Thank you so much for listening. If you take anything away from this episode, let it be this. Most days you are doing better than you think, even when someone else insists you should be able to bend reality. Until next time, keep your pens close, your driver informed, and if anyone has cracked teleportation, please call me. If you have enjoyed this episode, and I really do hope that you have, please feel free to share, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. This can make a really huge difference and helps others to find us. I appreciate all feedback, good and bad, but if you are going to leave negative feedback, please keep it constructive and be kind. I'm a florist after all.
Wait, there's more. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum.
You can also find us and share with everyone on the usual social media sites: Facebook, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Twitter, and any others which may pop up in between. Just look for Fareham Florist Pod. Please feel free to contact me with any questions you may have regarding any of the tales or experiences that I've shared, or just to do with being a general working florist. You can reach me via email. The address is farehamfloristpod@duck.com. That's DUCK for the duck. Are you a florist with your own stories, your own experiences that you would like me to share for you? If you are, I would love to hear from you. Again, you can reach me via the email address farehamfloristpod@duck.com, or you can drop me a WhatsApp on 073 671 87685. More than happy to keep you anonymous if you would like me to. If you would like me to give your business a mention, whether you run a florist, butcher, baker, or even a candlestick maker, I am more than happy to do so, providing your business is registered and trading legally. As a thank you, though, for my putting your details out there, and hopefully generating some new business for you. It would be really appreciated if you would be kind enough to make a donation to one of our nominated charities. These can be found on the webpage www.farehamfloristpod.co.uk.
That's it for today, where the petals gently sway. Thanks for sharing in the story and for your time with me today. Until next time when our paths will cross again.